I think we're about ready to go, so if you could take your seats, we will get started. Can anybody hear me? If you don't mind, if you just take your seats and we'll get started. Thank you. And by the way, if you've noticed the 25th anniversary souvenir glass on the table, Bill Patrick spent a lot of time etching personally etching those glasses. So please take the souvenir with you when you leave tonight.
Yeah, Bill's such an artist.
And I should recognize we have a couple of jesters here who have traveled all the way from Saskatchewan. Lauren Boyle and Vaughn Johnson. Lauren and Vaughn. Thanks for coming, gentlemen. All right, once again, the format for this version of Jesters Off the Record, Jonathon and Matt are going to come up here. We have 3 chairs here for people who would like to ask questions. And the camera is on, so when you come up to the microphone, I'll just get you to say your name and then ask the question. So once again, would you please welcome number 52 in the world, Matthew Jufrey. Matt? And the world champion, Jonathon Power. Jonathon, you want to take there? All right, and our first question is this young gentleman here. If you'd just like to come over here, you tell us who you are and what your question is.
I'm Brendan Ross, and what was your favorite part about playing squash?
Well, for me, it was the action. You know, the thing with a lot of the other sports is you spend, like tennis, you spend all the time picking up the balls, defending, and putting it on your racket. You actually hit it. So I like there was always, you know, you were always doing something, running and hitting, and the fact that you can play by yourself too, because I like basketball and squash for those 2 reasons, because you can actually get better when you're on your own, you know.
Brendan, I know you have to play in the morning. Do you have any other questions?
No, that's about it.
Good luck in the tournament. All right, question for you, Matt. And actually, Matt, could you bring your chair over just a little closer? Because unfortunately, we have a very short microphone. There we go. Just wondered what it was like playing Jonathon today.
It was painful as always. No, it was good. It was a lot of running, as usual. But no, it was good playing. Each time I play Jonathon, I think it's a little bit better and able to, I guess, withstand the pace and try and match the pace a bit better. So yeah, so it was, you know, fun as usual, and I enjoy running around, and I guess that's a good benchmark for me to see how well I'm playing. And so yeah, it was good.
If for some reason some squash player in the world somewhere had never heard of Jonathon Power, how would you describe him to that person?
Unique.
Okay, here's our next question.
Interesting. That's about as good of a word as interesting.
All right, I got a question for both these fine young gentlemen, and it's I'd like to hear a little bit about your workout regime, and I also want to know, Jonathon and I were talking after his game, and said he only plays squash once a week, and I heard a week or 2 ago he beat the world 5 or 6 in a game. So how do you prevent injuries at this stage of your career? So I want to hear about your workout regime a little bit, and how do you guys prevent your injuries, and is stretching becoming much more important as you go on?
You want me to start with that? All right. Well, for me, I mean, I'd done all the work over the years, so when I retired, I just didn't want to let it go, so I could enjoy playing squash for as long as I could. I knew if I had stopped playing completely, then it's going to be a lot harder to maintain that. So I kept up doing my weights and keeping my muscles strong and tight, and then I would do a couple hours a week of stretching, where I would do 1 hour stretching sessions, minimum two days a week, and sort of intermittently with the weight training. And then I play squash maybe once a week, or more if I could, for a little bit of fitness, for a little cardio. And I felt that was the perfect health balance. If you can do some weights for your bones and muscles, and then some stretching to lengthen it, and a little bit of squash for some cardio, happy life. Matt's a little more intense right now.
Yeah, I play a little bit more than once a week. I do aquafit about 7 days though. That keeps me limber. I don't do aquafit. I'm kidding. Yeah, for me, I play. Obviously, I'm playing on the tour, so I haven't. Aside from Joe Forster when he decides to give it a good go for training, we don't. I don't get too many hits either. So a lot of my.
What about the new pro?
Yeah, the new pro. The new pro's got some potential. But yeah, no, I'm training every single day, and part of that is either doing a strength thing or a power thing or a speed day, and stretching and core work is incorporated into every day. So that's both my training and my preventative training as well, I guess. And yeah, it's pretty much just trying to maintain during the season, because you can't really improve too much on your fitness while there's tons of tournaments going on. You just, you play a tournament, you're sore, you recover. If you can get a couple days of training, great. Then you leave again and play another tournament. It's kind of not a vicious circle, but essentially that's what it is until you get to the summer. Then you can, I guess, heal any nagging injury that you've had throughout the year. And that's when you do well, for me anyway, it's more the core stuff, getting the stretching back, just getting everything healed up, and then starting again in the fall.
Thanks. Whenever I've watched most people play you, Matt, they come off the court and they say it's like a vicious circle out there. Jonathon, you're a dad now. I just wonder how that is, and are you a disciplinarian?
Yeah.
Was he before?
Yeah. Well, she's 9.5 months, so when I hit the ball at her and she didn't catch it, she got a beating. No. I got a sweet little baby girl, and yeah, no pressure. No pressure so far.
Okay, we have to ask you some questions about some of your arch rivals, like for example Peter Nicol. I do recall a year or two after the rivalry began that Peter made some adjustments to his game, and he said it was because of you. Have you ever adjusted your game because of Peter?
Yeah, I mean, in general, I when things were going well, I would just impose my game and not have to worry about too much counterbalancing. But the main thing for me is being in shape, and sometimes I could wane if I was, I go through patches. I like to pat myself on the back a bit too quickly when I was doing well and celebrate. So it was just maintaining that focus and that discipline that was sort of wandered from time to time, and that's mainly what would get me back. And when Peter would beat me, that would refocus me.
In preparing for this event, at our meetings, we all told various Jonathon Power stories, and I don't see Marty Jufrey in a chair yet here, but Marty, you have to tell that story. Come on up here. Come on up here. Get in line. Let's go to Colin Field now.